Hello, beautiful Gemini Moon. What a pleasure it is to have you here at my first video and forecast for the full moon in Aquarius, happening on 3 August. So, an Aquarius full moon, heightened energies, and you know, Aquarius being an air sign, but with the name Aqua in, the water bearer, is really like the clouds. It's like the wind moving the clouds and the weather changing and things evolving. And it really allows us to have, or to connect in with a greater and a broader view. It opens up heightened abilities of intuition for downloading in a very intellectual manner, in a very concise manner, receiving wisdom and intuition. And of course, Geminis, you are so good at this. You are so good at using your intellect. You're so good at bringing the intellect in and channeling in these ways. So the first card that I'm getting from a deck that I made myself is, it's around tapping into fire energies. And of course the sun at the moment is in Leo, so we do have access to those fiery energies at the moment. And it really is about utilizing in very powerful ways our ability to transform and to transmute. And isn't this just really a great way to see the times we're in? Because, you know, we can view it as incredibly traumatic, absolutely, but it is an immense time of transformation. Because let's face it, the old paradigm is collapsing. The old structures, they don't work anymore. And a lot of people are waking up right now. A lot of people are realizing this. And a lot of people are paving the ways forward for what is it we want the new world to look like. And Gemini Moon, you are so important in this process. So important in this. And you really are the plan makers and the executors. You really are so good at having an idea and making it happen, making it happen. And I really want you to tap into those divine creative energies that you have access to at the moment. And of course, with the full moon, it is about energy coming to its climax. And I don't want you to be disheartened when that energy starts to slow down again after the full moon, because this is our natural cycle. And then we're going to move towards the new moon. We're going to go more inside, more slow, more sure. And this doesn't mean we're not being productive, because I know you guys like to just get things done. But sometimes getting things done is just doing the internal work, is the meditating, is the slowing down. But of course right now, it's speeding up. It's speeding up. I really do just want to remind you of your ability to call in protection. And I really want to remind you of the importance of utilizing this ability that you have to call in that protection. It is so important who you're surrounding yourself with, and this extends to the virtual spaces as well. This is not only about who we have in our physical space, but who are we allowing on our social media feeds? Who are we giving time to? What are we watching? What programs are we downloading? Where are we allowing certain things to come in? Because we really are very sensitive beings, and you're really choosing who you want to be by what you surround yourself with. So I want you to really remember that aspect of the protection as well. Your power in choosing who you have around you, and your power in setting healthy boundaries. And sometimes boundaries need to be reset, and sometimes we set a boundary and that boundary is not working. Sometimes we have to set a new boundary. Sometimes we have to just cut someone out of our lives. This is also okay, and that doesn't mean we wish that person ill. It just means that we care enough about ourselves and where we are in this moment to be able to provide for ourselves the most healing and nurturing spaces possible for our personal growth. Because again, this is the gift that you give to the world. It's how you transform yourself. It's how you create your world with every word, in every moment, every thought, and every action. You are telling the universe what you want and who you are. Choose wisely, Gemini. Choose wisely. This card has come up a few times, and I feel like I'm maybe beginning to sound a little bit like a stuck record. But here's just a subtle reminder that even in the ebb and flow of all the trauma that we experience, of the depression, of the pandemic, of the separation and the isolation, it exists too with its opposite. And that despite how things may sometimes appear, there is divine justice in the universe. And maybe there is a personal grudge that you're harboring, that it's time to let go of this full moon. Maybe you can write it down and write the person you want to forgive and burn it in some fire flames and use that transformative energy in a symbolic way and release and let go. I really feel like this full moon is a good time for you to just check in with how you're feeling about your past and even your present and where you're at now, and just do some internal house cleaning. Let go, let go, let go of all that no longer serves you. And then we have the Seven of Swords, and Seven of Swords is really talking about this energy of being a little bit annoyed, a little bit like, this person is really getting to me. Or maybe it's not a person, maybe it's a structure, maybe it's an oppressive regime, maybe it's racism, maybe it's classism, maybe it's your financial situation. But this Seven of Swords comes to tell you that while you're focusing on these things that annoy you, you're not focusing on the solution. And while I'm certainly not trying to preach ignorance, of course we must acknowledge the injustices, we must acknowledge the things that are not working in order to transform them. But then we also need to pick up the pieces that we've got left and know that this is divine guidance, and know that we need to shift our perspectives and we need to move in a different direction. You have not lost everything in this situation. There is definitely a situation that's really haunting you right now, and you need to let go. Pick up the pieces you've got left. Bless the situation with love for the lessons it brings, and let it go, Gemini. Let it go. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is really talking about you having built something beautiful. So this is like really almost quite opposite to the Seven of Swords. So at the same time as having this thing where you feel kind of cheated, you feel kind of harmed and hurt in some way, you're also feeling like you've put a lot of energy into something that you can be very proud of. You've really built something beautiful, but you're not done building this thing. And this thing that you're building, it's not just about you. It's not egocentric. It's something that's going to benefit other people. And it's really, really something beautiful, something you share, something that brings communities together. And this is very exciting. And perhaps this is the thing where you need to shift your focus to. And maybe letting go of this other situation is really going to help you to focus more on this thing that you're building and blossoming. And maybe it was a side project, and now you're realizing, oh, I can clear some space now and actually make this a bigger project. And that's really exciting. Very exciting. And this is right next to the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is really quite an exciting card. And it's saying quite a few things to me at the moment. And you know, quite often this card says to me that travel may be imminent, or certainly something that you are considering. Although, of course, at the moment, travel is not something that was as easy as it used to be. So perhaps you're not traveling in physical realms. Perhaps you're traveling in the astral realms. Perhaps you're journeying in your dreams. Of course, maybe you are fortunate enough to be able to travel and move across physical spaces, but there's definitely this consideration of moving, and it does feel like it's a far move. It's not something like, oh, I'm going down the road to visit my friend for some tea. No, this is, it's a big move. It's a big move. Excuse me. And the other thing that the Two of Wands is saying to me is that when you are able to really tap into those deep wells within yourself where your passion and your drive and your creativity springs forth from, when you are able to focus on the things that bring you joy and expand you in positive ways, this is when the world is just at your feet, and this is when you access your magic and you create and you manifest. And really, Gemini, I feel like you're one of the most magical creators, in terms of you're able to just flow and change and adapt and move through. And quite often, you know, where with some of your more fixed signs, and obviously some of your more practical signs, such as the earth signs, they battle with this a little bit more. So I really feel like when you are able to lock into your innate joy, and you know what, also inner child, because the inner child knows, the inner child knows about the creativity and the fun and the being in the moment. Balance is the other thing that's coming through with this Two of Wands. Balance. And with an absolute focus on balance in your life, but a focus on that creativity and that drive. Are you balancing the rest of your life with that creative passion and that joy, that insight, that excitement, the things that make the fire inside of you burn? I really feel like this is going to be a magical moon for you, Gemini, and I really hope you're able to let go and release and move through this transformation with love.